Mercedes-Benz Superdome here in New Orleans. This is what it looked like just a moment ago in the heart of New Orleans. Folks, there's no place for this noise to go in the Superdome. It is loud, and these fans are ready for football as their Saints get ready to do battle with Jameis Winston and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line.
Hey, let's get it working.
On 1st and 10, Winston trying to get it to Jackson, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Von Bell, and he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. And the defense could not have written a much better script than that first drive, pick six.
The offense never got a chance to really get oiled up there, did they? But the defense, they certainly got in gear. What a big-time play and a great way for them to start.
And now the offense, they've got to turn things around and figure this out because your backs are on the ground real quickly.
Yeah, usually when you're starting the game, getting the ball, 0-0 is the only score you're worried about. Now the second time you get it, you're already down a touchdown.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Well, these Buccaneers coming off a 4-game drop-off from a year ago, 9-7 in Dirk Cutter's first season to 5-11 last year. It's now 10 straight seasons without a playoff appearance, and in fact, they have not won a playoff game, Charles, since winning Super Bowl 37.
And in order for them to get back to the playoffs, they've got to go through their division, which is awfully tough and high-powered on offense. Atlanta, New Orleans, Carolina. So the Buccaneers made the investment. Jason Pierre-Paul from the Giants on the defensive side of the ball. Also picked up Bo Allen and Vinny Curry from the Philadelphia Eagles. So the defensive front taken care of. They also picked up Vita Vea, a massive defensive tackle from Washington in the first round of the draft. Then they picked up a couple of corners. They know that on the defensive side of the ball, that's where they have to make their biggest gain to chase down their division rivals.
3rd and long for Winston. Steps away to his left. There's the Penn State man. It's Chris Godwin. They'll get 11, but still a little short. 4th down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run at that, and keeping them from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. And how about the call here? They need 2 yards in their own territory on 4th down, and they're going to go for it. They're indeed going. It's Winston. And it is incomplete. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And the Saints are going to get it back and in great shape. They'll run for the first time with Mark Ingram. And he struggles to get a yard here, maybe a yard, down to the 31.
Gerald McCoy is always going to be linked with Ndamukong Suh. They came into the NFL in the same draft class. There's a lot of debate about who is going to be the better defensive tackle. They just do it 2 different ways. McCoy, more movement, more elusiveness. That allowed him to make the play there for a short gain.
Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. A good pick up there of 20 yards. And a nice start there to the aerial attack to pick up the first.
And I think preseason is officially over now. Getting into the groove of the regular season, that's a great way to get started. First drive of the season, what a nice completion.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. They'll try again on 2nd and goal after going backwards to the 12.
0-2.
Working from the gun, it's Breeze. Flush to his right. And he fires one that's intercepted. Vernon Hargraves with a pick.
I think that interception happened for 2 reasons. Quarterback gets outside the pocket and panics a little bit. And the receiver doesn't make sure he's absolutely in an open spot. So there's a guy lurking, took the ball from him.
Yeah, so don't wave your arms, right, as a receiver if you're not wide open.
Got to know that you're open. Otherwise, just don't do it.
Following the interception, Winston going for the deep ball. It got his man complete. Mike Evans, he's going to go. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Mike Evans, an even 90 yards. And the Buccaneers are an extra point away from tying up this football game. Extra point up and good by Catanzaro. And we are tied at 7. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or two shy of the 30. We focus our attention here on the Saints' offense as they come out. And last year, they were coming into 2017 with 3 straight 7-9 seasons. Well, they got it turned around. Won the NFC South at 11-5. Won a wild card game, and then we all know the story. Heartbreak in Minneapolis.
But it's one that won't break this team, I don't believe. I think it's actually something that they can use as fodder for this season, as something to build upon. And when you think of New Orleans, you naturally think of offense. You think of Drew Brees. You think of Alvin Kamara last year as a rookie, making the big plays. Mark Ingram running the football, throwing it to Mike Thomas out wide.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Levante David. Tough to handle on that blitz. He gets him for a loss of 5. Now Brees on 3rd down. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And this will be caught at the 30. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Michael Thomas, 70 yards. And the Saints are able to cash in for 6. Lutz with the extra point, and that makes the score 14-7. Morstead, the punter, out to kick it off. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, to see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the...
Winston and the Bucs take over now, 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line. Play action now, Winston. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And this is taken in at the 5. It's a big play, Winston to Evans, 61 yards. Well, it's one thing to grab it with one hand, but when you make a catch of that distance, quite another.
Yes, sir. I mean, that one right there, we keep talking about the high-flying antics that we're seeing from receivers nowadays. Doesn't matter what spot they start in. But when it actually does happen in the heat of battle, brings me right out of my seat.
They come out here in the eye. They'll try and run it in with Jones. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Ronald Jones with his first career touchdown in his first career game. And the Buccaneers are an extra point away from tying up this football game. Extra point good by Catanzaro, and we are tied at 14. So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And, Charles, the way touchdowns have come so fast and furious for both sides in this thing, it's starting to feel a little bit more like maybe a tennis match than a football game.
Yeah, I like your description there. Maybe we're sitting in a nice royal box watching this type of a game. But let's face it, right now, the way it's going back and forth, it's going to come down to who can get a stop.
They'll roll him out right. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. He'll get 10 there all on his own, but it'll be second down.
Well, he did a nice job keeping his eyes downfield, waiting for someone to get open. But once the pressure forced his eyes down to see the rush, it was time to make a break for it.
Good, good, good. Line 4, ready. Hey, 4 down.
On second down, Kamara. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40.
Coming in, he really liked his chance of having a big year based on a terrific offseason. And runs like that on opening weekend show that he's right.
So from Buccaneer territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 38. To throw, it's Breeze. Now Breeze lost the football. And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory.
With no running backs in the backfield to help pass protect, all the receivers in their patterns, it's going to be hot routes. If they sense a blitz or pressure on the quarterback, they've got to be prepared to break routes off early and get the football. In this case, never even had a chance. They popped the ball free in the backfield.
They go play action here on 1st down. Under pressure, and he'll go down. They'll sack him on what ought to be the final play of this first quarter.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's the Bucs in possession of the football as we begin the second quarter, but they face a 2nd and long to start things out. Now before this second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. Jameis to throw it. And this throw will be intercepted. Picked off at the 45. And they'll set up shop in enemy territory at the 45-yard line. Charles, when plays like that work, it's a thing to behold, but sometimes we see why they're very deep in the playbook.
And how many times have we been at practice and heard all the other guys chirping about, you know, I used to play quarterback in high school, I can do this, until it becomes a game situation. Not quite the same in many cases.
Give them 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
Easy.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Quan Alexander coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8.
Easy.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, Brew didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop it.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
Breeze on the draw, gives to Kamara, and they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. To throw is Breeze. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion, and both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. The Bucs defense stiffens and pushes this to 4th down. And Lutz puts this one through. And they take a 17-14 lead. So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
And things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front 7? As they got closer to the goal line, things stiffened a little bit, forced the field goal.
As they do, Charles, one thing to point out that we saw a second ago are some of the new rules in the NFL this year regarding kickoffs.
Yeah, nowadays, the kickoff team, no more running starts. Remember that when you kind of circle a guy around and here he goes? No more. You have to start, close to the ball. And when it's kicked, then you get to take off and go, so you can't build up your speed that way. Also, when you're returning it, remember those wedges that we used to say where guys would form together, 2 or 3 guys? No more of those. So it'd be a lot more man-on-man, one-on-one blocking. And also they have rules about where people have to be when the ball's kicked, where they have to be when the ball's caught. So to me, it's much more like a punt return than it is an actual kickoff return. So I'm eager to see if teams now take their punt returners, those nifty guys who make people miss in the open field, and make them the kickoff returners as well, because I think you can still get big plays in this area if you have the right people back there.
They'll try and run for it with Jones. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. He loses 4, and it brings up 4th.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
And no one there to stop it. Hits at the 8, but it carries all the way into the end zone for a touchback. Out is the Saints offense now as they get ready to take over here. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
And he'll get only a couple up to the 22.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
Ready, where's that, 90?
So 2 minutes to go in a wild first half. We're back to New Orleans after this.
4 down, check, ready. You ready?
Off the play fake to Kamara, it's Breeze. And off his back foot, he'll heave this one deep. And both guys were there, but it falls incomplete.
They decided to take a shot and right down the middle of the field, and really, they didn't give it as much time to develop, did they? They want to take that shot somewhere around the 15-yard mark.
And the defense able to recover, bat it free. So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8.
Hey, kill!
From the gun, it's Breeze. He's going to loft one deep over the middle. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Evans. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line.
Oh, man, Brandon, not a real good throw that time. It looked like he tried to put a little too much air under this one, and it turned into a floater. And defensively, this is a dream. He could have fair caught that one. That was way too easy.
Right side caught by Jackson. A very solid gain of 27.
Okay, what can't Deshaun Jackson do? All right, we know about the catches. We just saw another one there. Also gets involved in the return game, and he can break big plays like that, and we've seen him do it throughout his NFL career.
We have. What are you thinking of anything in particular?
Yeah, I'm still remembering a certain Giants punter not following orders, and Deshaun Jackson made that big-time return all the way back for a game winner in that one. I still remember seeing the looks of disbelief on the Giants sideline.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. From the gun, Winston. A dump underneath to Jones. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. Hate to see this. Week 1 of the season. We'll be back. Winston now over 200 yards already in this first half. It's 1st and 10. Winston. Jackson's got it over the middle. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 to the 5-yard line. A good pickup there, 26 yards. Goal line offense, something they've really been emphasizing in practice lately. Now they have a chance here to put all that hard work to use. Again, it's Winston. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. Mike Evans, the one he was looking for. And it's second down.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss him? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah.
What happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe it.
6 points go by the wayside on that one.
And he's going to press this one forward as they stop him right around the 1. Give him right around 4 on the carry. We'll see if they want to keep pounding here on 3rd and goal. Winston sneaking it. And he's in. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Jameis Winston. Already his 2nd touchdown here in this opening weekend. And the Bucs are able to strike for 6. Extra point up and good by Catanzaro. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
On second down, here's Breeze. Eluding the pressure right. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's 3rd down.
Yeah, not much there that time, and I think we were both wondering once he got out of the box whether he just throw the ball away and he winds up only picking up a yard or 2.
The Saints on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Shotgun now for Breeze. Forced out to his left. He can run for it, and he will. Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running with it, and picking up a 1st down. And now before this 1st down play, we're going to get a timeout here as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. On 1st down, Breeze there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Throwing now is Breeze. Flush, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. On 3rd and long, it's Breeze. Looking here for Smith downfield. And this one is incomplete. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend. As we'll check in for the first time with the newest member of our Madden family, it's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach. We'll see if Week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. On the return, it's Ted Ginn Jr. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Out come the Saints now. They'll go on offense first here to begin the 3rd quarter. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. Now on the run, he'll throw it back deep over the middle. And incomplete. An excellent play downfield. Should have been picked off, really. But 2nd down instead.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? And in this case, they managed to get it done.
Breeze leaves this one with Kamara. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains. Alvin Kamara really settling into the league in his second season. And, of course, he came out of Tennessee, but not a lot of people remember he started at Alabama.
He did and got caught in that big mix of running backs at Bama. And they like those bigger, thicker runners, those guys who can break down defenses through the middle. Alvin Kamara ended up leaving Alabama, going to a junior college for a while. I believe he went to Hutchinson Junior College before matriculating at Tennessee and finding his way to the NFL, where he is now a star.
He goes underneath to Ingram. Call it a 3-yard gain, and that's going to lead to a third down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Got it.
From the gun on third down, Breeze. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle. And he'll go out of bounds across the 35-yard line. Great blocking, nearly sprung in there. 28-yard return, and the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. Winston and the Bucs take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 37. Play fake. Winston. He'll buy some time right. Room here to run. Room to run past midfield. And he takes it across the 50 to the 46-yard line. Able to make something out of nothing there. 17 yards and a first down. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Now Jameis on second down. Quick throw, that's complete on the inside slant. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue. Jameis now 8 of 15 through the air, but it's 1st and 10 here. Now Winston looking downfield for Godwin. So they took a shot on 1st down, but couldn't connect.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a whole lot bit more careful. Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down. So they go out of the gun, try to delay it on the draw, but nothing there.
Yeah, good play by the defense there. They snipped it out and made sure there were no gaps for him to run. If you're the offense, though, you have to think to yourself, maybe a good play action down the road.
Escaping the pressure right. He may try and run for this. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. 5 yards that time out of the scramble. But now they're looking at a 4th down situation. On is Chandler Catanzaro now for the Buccaneer field goal. Right hash mark, a 42-yard attempt. And Catanzaro's kick is right through, and that'll make this a 7-point game. Well, looking at it from a defensive perspective, that keeps the deficit very, very manageable. You know, all things considered, not a bad job on the defensive side. I would say that you've pointed out something pretty good right there, and that is you actually have both sides happy with that exchange. You know, happy in quotes, of course. One team, hey, we've kept it within range. The other side saying, hey, we put points on the board and did stretch out the lead. Let's see how this one turns out. Yeah, still bottom line, though, 3 points for the opening drive of the third quarter. So Brees going to lead the Saints up here, 1st and 10 at their own 22. Now Kamara. And he finds some space past the 25 to the 27. Now it looks like we'll get a timeout as there's a Saints player down here on the field. Hate to see this. Week 1 of the season. We'll be back. Back to the ground, this time with Ingram. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up. And down he goes, a Buccaneer sack. Vinny Curry in there to get him for a loss of 9, and that'll lead to 4th down. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. With it is Jackson. Back now here live in New Orleans as we're about ready to rock and roll for the 4th and final quarter. The Buccaneers in good field position here to start out, 1st and 10. Winston now from the 50. Belsh. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off by Von Bell. And he's just across midfield and down at the 49-yard line. I tell you, Brandon, it seems like this guy's been all over the field so far. That's his 2nd interception of the game. And so much of playing defense in the NFL, especially when it comes to defending the pass, is all about positioning and technique. And this is fantastic work on both fronts there. Here's Brees. And the pressure gets to Brees as he's taken down. Levante David in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
11. Under.
Now Brees throwing on 2nd down. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And they went for a big play through the air on 2nd down. Couldn't connect. Now it's 3rd. This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it. They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield.
21. Monday.
Working from the gun, it's Brees. He's going to fire one, and that's caught inside the 30. That one goes for 29 yards on 3rd down. A great job pulling that one in from a guy, as we know, who can really blaze. He's got a lot of speed. And that speed can work for him so many different ways. Sometimes he just takes off and goes and just runs past people. Sometimes you get people to back off so far that you can catch everything underneath. But still, at some point in the game, you probably have to make some contested catches, right? Sometimes you have to go up and beat a defender for the football. He has that in his arsenal as well. Showed it right there. Now Brees. He dumps it down to Ingram. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. It's an 8-yard pickup, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 1. So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Hey, easy. Left. Here we go.
Breeze to throw on 3rd and 1. And incomplete. A disappointing drop there defensively by the rookie. And now 4th down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
Now Breeze got to have this one. And he's going to have his running back. It's complete. Give them credit. They knew what they wanted to dial up on 4th. They executed it for 9 yards, and the offense stays out there. Breeze now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Breeze gives it up to Ingram. And he'll be dropped at about the 11 after only a yard.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And here he'll get it down to the 7. A gain of 4 on the play, and that'll make it 3rd down.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
And he's going to go down. Sacked right around the 17. Vinny Curry in there to get him his 2nd sack now of the afternoon. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
Whistles now in a timeout defensively. So a wise move as they'll use the first of their timeouts to force one more play before the 2-minute warning.
Ready. Over.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down.
Ready. Yellow waiting. Over.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And he's got it. Touchdown, Saints. Ted Ginn from 6 yards away. And the Saints are within an extra point of tying this thing up. Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And we are tied here in the 4th quarter. So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this 4th quarter. That's fielded in the end zone. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit, because his confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup going to start to warm up a little bit over on the sideline?
He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's 2nd down. Now Winston. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player.
Let's go now.
While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. Here's Winston. Left side here, that's complete to Godwin. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
Always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete. Couple extra defensive backs out there in the dime, and because of that, really not many places to throw the football if any.
And typically, what would you want to do against that dime?
Run the football.
You want to run the ball, but you can't do it in this situation. Not nearly enough time on the clock. You having to really navigate against a tough defense presented against you.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Jameis to throw it. And he will not get the connection there. It's incomplete. 3rd and long coming up. Defensively, you pressure the quarterback or drape all over the passing lane?
Yes, that's exactly what you do. It's both because they're not mutually exclusive. They may have been at one time in football, but not anymore. You want to have that pressure. And if you have a big-time pass rusher, send him after the quarterback and then make sure you blanket the field.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Winston to throw. And he's got a man. It's the tight end Howard, complete. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. O.J. Howard, 37 yards. And the Bucs are going to take the lead.
Hey, that score deserves our respect, deserves our excitement. But I'm looking at the clock, and I'm thinking, there's a long way to go in this one.
Ideally, they would have liked to milk a little bit more time off. Now, on the other sideline, you start to get the crew together and say, this is what we practiced the 2-minute drill for, right?
Yeah, you hope you've been in that situation before, and if you haven't, you just have the confidence, hey, let's go down there and get this thing done. But, boy, that's a big score right there to give them the advantage.
It's in the 4th quarter down in Miami, and it was the Titans who were able to take home the victory. A win would be their first of the young season. Now the Saints offense, they get ready to go back to work here. They're down here in a 1-score game, but the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
Well, they have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go in the game. He's back to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Well, look to throw. Flush to his right. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And, oh, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Evans. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Okay, it's real simple to say from here, but we know that sometimes as a quarterback, you've got to know when to say when and just throw it away. Flushed out to the right, tries to make something out of nothing here, and he winds up floating one downfield that gets intercepted.
And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here. It'll be their 3rd and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside. And they'll try and burn some clock with a sneak. Give him 3 on the keeper there, and it is 2nd down.
And that's frustrating for a defense because they've got them pinned down deep. And on the first play, they gave up a run that keeps an offense on schedule.
Yeah, because 3 to 4 yards, that's all you're looking for right there, right?
That's absolutely perfect, really, as a play call. You get 3 to 4 yards on first down, That's what they talk about us all the time, about being ahead of the chains or on target, ahead of schedule. They were after that run.
And partner, this first week, this first game that we get to call together, so special every year.